I lost the die roll. The hand is okay. I'm not in love with this hand, but it's not worth throwing away. Waterlogged Grove can get recycled or something, and with this sort of hand, I'm really looking to play like turn 1 Mutavault into Aether Vial and start attacking with the Mutavault immediately, and we'll deploy like Master of the Pearl Trident, maybe by our 3rd land drop, just Brazen Borrower. Or pending what they do, we could play Petty Theft on turn 2. But not worth throwing away. It's just that, you know, Aether Vial hands get better when you have a lot of creatures in it, and this is not even a creature that I can play off of the Aether Vial. Urza's Tower. Alright, so, I don't know if this is Eldrazi Tron or Tron, but it doesn't matter. Snapping. Gonna snap off. I don't even have many cards in my hand, but I'm willing. You gotta get rid of that Expedition map. Especially if this is like just regular mono green Tron. There are so many of their hands that they keep, and they depend so much on that Expedition map. And honestly, the hand still has a reasonable clock if we're up against mono green Tron. Draw a Botanical Sanctum. That does not make me feel very good, but I'm going to continue with the plan that I had before of just immediately smacking my opponent with Mutavault. Our opponent continues with turn 2 Cavern of Souls. I like it, so I hope that we prevented the turn 3 Thought Not Seer, because they can no longer look for Eldrazi Temple. They might just have some loose crap cards. Spreading Seas, I don't think I do anything. There's no point in playing the Spreading Seas right now. I'm just going to attack with the Mutavault. Spreading Seas is better played on either Eldrazi Temple or when they're threatening Tron, or most importantly, Blast Zone. Those are the best things to hit. Look, Scavenger Grounds. Look how slow they are so far. It's pretty slow. It's a Matter Reshaper, so now I cannot attack with my Mutavault. Pretty bad draw. We don't need another Aether Vial in this matchup, so I start with the Spreading Seas. I think I just put on Urza's Tower, I guess. Cavern of Souls isn't... I don't have any counter spells, so there's no point. I play the Misty Rainforest. We'll minimize our damage by looking for a breeding pool. The hand is a bit ugly right now, because if our opponent does play Thought Not Seer, they're going to eat one of our lords. It's just nothing I could do about that. But look at that, they're stuck on the land. You know, even Eldrazi Tron, they need that Expedition map. We're seeing it. That Expedition map like smooths out their hand by a lot. So they're stuck on mana. I hope they don't have removal, but you know, we're gonna find out soon. Merfolk Mistbinder is like basically the best rip here, so we're just gonna play a Merfolk Mistbinder, activate, deal as much damage as possible. I don't play my Master of the Pearl Trident. I don't remember why. Oh, I didn't want it... Spatial Contortion. I'm playing around Spatial Contortion. So it gives a creature +3/-3. And I'm holding up my Master of the Pearl Trident so that if I were to activate the Vial, then they could have Spatial Contortion my Merfolk Mistbinder. But... is it Spatial Contortion? Yeah, it's Spatial Contortion. No, is it Spatial Contortion? Spatial... I mix up all these names. Yeah, Spatial Contortion. That's the one. I was thinking about... I couldn't remember the difference between Warping Wail and Spatial Contortion, but Spatial Contortion +3/-3. So I'm not playing the Lord here, just playing around that because my opponent has still a lot of mana up. Either they have a really clunky hand or they got some removal in hand. But I am gonna probably be willing to play this Master of the Pearl Trident at the end of turn because why not? They Spatial Contortion me, they Spatial Contortion me. Merfolk Trickster, perfect. Gonna attack first, then Trickster. And we win. Excellent. Notice I don't crack Waterlogged Grove. If somehow this game goes on a little bit longer and then my opponent plays Thought Not Seer, they could take something from my hand. Would I draw with the Waterlogged Grove? Because I'm probably going to be playing this Merfolk Trickster. Don't know how else this game would go. I mean, maybe they're just dead anyway. But anyway, so that was game 1. Let's move on to game 2. Game 2, hand sucks. Do I mulligan this? Hand's not good. Hand's not good. Even though it's like a very painful hand. It's a pretty painful hand because we've got the Waterlogged Grove. We do have something on the draw. We have some interaction. We have a Lord. I'm not in love with it. I'm just not in love with it. If we look at the sideboard, pretty sure I sideboard similarly as last time. I keep one more Kumena Speaker in the deck. I do side out the Force Negations. I still think this is an attrition-based matchup. But this time, okay, this time I don't screw up. I have all the... or did I side out one Brazen Borrower? I don't remember. But anyway, I only have 3 Spreading Seas. We bring in... I take out a land. I like taking out a land here. It's somewhat of an attrition-based matchup. We bring in the... Oh, I brought in 2 Shaper Sanctuary. I think 1 is fine. I don't know about 2, but like 1 is okay. Brought in Damping Sphere. Took out, how many cards did I take out? 1, 2. Oh, 3. Yeah, I took out 3. Okay. 2 Damping Sphere and a Spreading Seas. 1 Spreading Seas. No, okay, what else did I take out? I don't get it. I don't get it. I brought in a Spreading Seas. I took out 3 Force Negations, of course. And we brought in the Shaper Sanctuary. So do I keep this? It's like keepable, but I'm not in love with it. We're on the draw. Because one of the Aether Vials are dead. Well, that was a good top deck. So I'm doing the same plan as I did before. Let's start with Mutavault and start attacking, and then we're going to use the mana from our Aether Vial to do the real damage. They Once Upon a Time for a Forest. Good. Walking Ballista on 1, that sucks. Ballista on anything is awful. So because we have Silvergill Adept, we might have to be very careful when we play that. We might want to play the Master of the Pearl Trident first before we get the Silvergill Adept out. Play Damping Sphere. And Damping Sphere, I think, helps us in a few ways against Eldrazi Tron. Not only is it going to choke up their mana, how they're cheating on mana with Eldrazi Temple and the Tron lands, but also they're going to be in a lot of spots where they want to play maybe Thought-Knot Seer and a Dismember on the same turn, and they can't do it on that turn. They might have to pass to our turn before they can play spells again. So it will make the order of their spells really a little bit more clunky. Blast Zone! Well, that sucks. So now I have to be careful how many 2-drops I put on the battlefield. Because if I put too many 2-drops on the battlefield, then Blast Zone's just going to eat them. Shaper Sanctuary, very good card. Unfortunately, we still have the stupid Blast Zone here. But, the plus side is that if our opponent wants to blast off, if they want to blow their Blast Zone on 1, then it will protect the Damping Sphere and also protect all our future 2-drops. I do believe here I play... Do I play... There is an option to play Silvergill Adept, because even if Ballista... Well, first off, Ballista is not going to trade with the Silvergill Adept because I have a Master of the Pearl Trident that I can vial in. But, in addition to that, we'll draw a card for every single time they try to shoot our Silvergill Adept. I think that was a mistake. I think I should have played the Silvergill Adept here, reveal maybe Merfolk Trickster or something. I think that was a clear mistake. There's no reason not to play Silvergill Adept there and draw a card. So our opponent attacks for 3. I just eat 3. It's okay. I probably put Silvergill Adept in play here. Drawing Lord. It's good. Now, very important, our opponent missed their land drop, which is good. So we have some room to beat our opponent. Or try to work around this Blast Zone, because Blast Zone has to be activated for 3 mana, and you have to tap Blast Zone. Brazen Borrower is okay. Bouncing Matter Reshaper can matter. But here, if I had Merfolk Trickster in play, it'd be good. Attack with everything. Instead, this is what's happening. Pretty sure I Violin Lord here. And I don't mind if the Ballista ever tried to shoot the Silver Gilded up, because I always have Shaper's Sanctuary available. Dismember on Master of the Pearl Trident, and this is where Shaper's Sanctuary is going to start to pay off. We're going to draw Merfolk Mistbinder. I think Shaper's Sanctuary looks very good in this matchup. I don't like that it can get hit on Blast Zone very easily, but I mean, a lot of our stuff is at 2 mana anyway, so maybe this is a good way to diversify. But they, like, post-board, they're playing with Dismember and Spatial Contortion and Walking Ballista, so I think it's a very... and even that stupid Ugin Planeswalker, the 4 mana or 5 mana Ugin Planeswalker also targets things. So we draw a card. Beautiful. We exchange. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I don't want to play another Aether Vial because I still don't want to overexpose myself to this Blast Zone. Thought-Knot Seer. I don't remember what I do here. Let's find out, because I can play Petty Theft, but I could also just let it resolve and then see what they do. I opt to actually just play Merfolk Trickster, tap it down, and then let them take whatever they want from my hand. They take the Brazen Borrower. I'm very happy that they attack here, because I don't have a good attack into them. Another great thing is that they can't activate Blast Zone anymore. Or they can do it on 1, but they can't do it on 2. So I'm going to have an opportunity to empty my hand next turn. Or almost. I can't... The Waterlogged Groves are a liability. It'll put me down to 7 life and I can die to the creatures. But there's like some room to put as many creatures on the battlefield as possible. Okay, I decide to just put the Lords on the battlefield and attack, and I have the option to double block the Thought-Knot Seer. Or, remember, if they ever use removal on my creatures, I draw a card, so it's not a huge loss. So double block. Well, fortunately, the trade happened, so I'm going to draw a card out of this exchange. Draw a Mutavault, not bad. Can attack the Mutavault without taking too much damage. Opponent plays Karn, which does hurt, because it locks out my Aether Vial. But on the other hand, if they mine us for anything, we can very easily kill Karn. They decide to tick it up, which is fine by me, because now we can kill it. Like, we have everything on the battlefield to kill it. We have a Mutavault and Merfolk Trickster. Drawing that Trickster was actually important because if I go for killing Karn, then I don't have a very good block against the Matter Reshaper, and if Matter Reshaper puts me to like 1, I can't add any mana with these. I can still sacrifice them with the Mutavault mana, but it would be it still would make it very awkward on me. So we got 2 things going at Karn, 2 damage going at our opponent. I can't help but feel like this Damping Sphere is doing some work. It shows that Eldrazi Tron, it's a clunky deck. If you hurt their mana a little bit, it will go a long way. Anyway, we tap down the Matter Reshaper, and I have lethal on the battlefield, and they decide to resign. So, we got there against Eldrazi Tron, and Shaper's Sanctuary might have been... I mean, it might have been a bigger deal if they ever used their Walking Ballista on our creatures, which they did not. But at the very least, we exchanged something. We drew a card with Dismember. I mean, that was a card that helped us draw into the Trickster. We got 1 card deeper than usual, and I think this card is reasonably very good in the matchup, especially since you can go like, if you don't have a 1-drop creature, you go turn 1 Shaper's Sanctuary into turn 2 Lord. All right, so with that, let's move on to round 6. I think I lost the die roll, but this hand's unplayable. We don't have a single. We have a Mutavault, but basically we don't have any threats. So we're going to mulligan it. This hand is good. This hand's good. I like it. It's hard to cast the Brazen Borrower, because I'm going to keep just 1 Aether Vial, and I'm not going to want to tick it up to 3, but still, we're going to have something. We can play Commander Speaker and Dismember on our second turn, and then we can put Violin Merfolk Mistbinder on the 3rd turn. So this is quite reasonable. 1 one land Vile hand. A lot of one land Vile hands. But the main thing I'm looking at is like, what can I do on turn 2 if I don't... Like, what can I do on turn 2? Can I play Commander Speaker? Can I play Dismember? Do I have any plays on turn 2? If I have nothing to do on turn 2, I mean, it's not where you want to be in Modern, but... So we're up against some sort of likely Sultai deck. So far, we only see blue-green. Something with Euro and Tarmogoyf. I've never seen anything like this before, at least at the time. I don't remember what I go for here. I could Dismember. It's probably safe to Dismember right now. The reason being, if my opponent puts, I don't know. Like, there's not even that much stuff here. What is this? Legendary, we have creature, land, and instant to create a 3/4. If there's a sort, if we put, I don't know, sorcery, artifact, I don't know. I mean, we have Merfolk Trickster just in case to, like, block it. But dismembering the Goyf right now would be the safest thing to do. Apparently we're going to trick our opponent. To go play Astrolabe. This is a more mana efficient thing to do, but we can get hit by, like, for example, counter spells. So here comes Tarmogoyf. So we're going to do the old Trickster trick. If I'm not mistaken, I should Violin Commander Speaker here, so that we have 2 blockers, just in case our opponent randomly plays Dismember or something. I don't know what's in the list. I honestly have not a damn clue. So we're going to save Dismember for something else. Drawing another Brazen... Drawing Brazen Bar is not too bad, because our opponent is threatening Uro, and frankly, if it comes into play and we bounce it, then they're going to have an empty graveyard. I think this Uro card, very powerful if left unchecked, but if we are interacting with it, if we are bouncing it, if we are especially if we're bouncing it, it sucks up so much mana. So they have to empty their graveyard to cast it, put it into play, and then you bounce it back to their hand, then they have to pay 3 mana to put it back into the graveyard, then another 4 to put it into play. It's a huge mana sink, and our lords can definitely outrace the life that they gain with this card. So our opponent plays Icefang Quaddle, which, by the way, we are in good shape against, and I could guess that after Arkham's Astrolabe was played, that they would have Icefang Quaddle in their deck. They're playing with snow stuff. So it looks like they desperately are looking for a land right now. And they Thoughtseize me. I think I just dismember this stupid Icefang Quaddle. Let them take 2 damage. They're down to 9. They're about to go to 1, and they don't even decide to, like, look at their last card. Doesn't matter at all. Not sure what it was like on their side. They had the option to flash an Icefang Quaddle. I should say in matchups with Icefang Quaddle, the best cards are things like Dismember, so you can dismember it. I know it's not in a favorable exchange, but you want to keep your creatures on the battlefield, and it's still a little bit of a clunky card, Icefang Quaddle. It costs 2 mana. It's not guaranteed to kill my creature, so we can interact with it. It's only really good when they flash it in and they actually block something. So Viling and Island Walkers are good. Dismember is fine. Trickster is good. Now that if I know I'm up against a snow deck, I might want to save my Trickster for those moments where they're going to play Icefang Quaddle, then I can tap it down before they block. So just some things to keep in mind. Of course, Brazen Borrower is playable, but it's not exciting. If they have 4 mana, they can just replay their Icefang Quaddle. Also, Brazen Borrower is a little bit bad against Icefang Quaddle because it's such a... I mean, it flies and it's a... I mean, I guess the Death Touch... The power doesn't matter because it has Death Touch, but it's a flyer that can block Brazen Borrower. Anyway, that was Game 1. Let's move on to Game 2. So this was my opening hand. And this is sort of where I'm thinking I need to mulligan aggressively. I've got 2 threats. I've got 4 mana sources. No Mutavault. No Waterlog Grove, so I can't grind with this sort of mana. Force of Negation is probably not the greatest... Not amazing in this matchup. I think I'm keeping it just for the Cryptic command, because they showed me... Oh, what was that land? Mystic Sanctuary, which it implies that they've got Cryptic Command in their deck, and I don't want I don't want to be Cryptic locked out, so I'm keeping Force Negation, even though it doesn't look like that sort of matchup. What did I do? I took out 2 Spreading Seas, took out a land because I think it's a nutrition-based matchup. Brought in the last Force of Negation and 2 Relic of Progenitus, because Relic is going to be good against Tarmogoyf, Uro, and maybe Snapcaster Mage if they have it in this list. I don't know. I don't know what's exactly in this list. And I took out a land because we did see Thoughtseize, so it's a bit of an attrition-based matchup. So I took out 1 land, especially an island. Wasn't sure if we need Sanctuary because I didn't see any spot. I didn't see much spot removal. Sure, there's Fatal Push. So I mulligan that hand because it's not very good, or it's not on the draw. I'm doing nothing on turn 1. On turn 2, I'm playing like just a Lord, and it's not a big deal. We have better hands. We have better hands in this deck. This hand, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to keep this hand because it's a 1-lander on the draw, but it has a lot of potential. We have Silvergill Adept. We can draw, by the way, if we draw Mutavault, we can still cast the Silvergill Adept. If we do nothing else, we can still dismember like a Tarmogoyf. And I'm probably going to dump the Kumena Speaker because I can't cast this. Because I'm on the draw, so I can afford to keep a 1-lander on the draw. On the play, it's way harder. What do? I do keep, and I dump probably Kumena Speaker. See, this hand is way more threat dense than the other one. I might lose. Because I might not draw that 2nd land ever. But I do draw the Waterlogged Grove because that's how I roll. And Tarmogoyf, beautiful. I can dismember that instantly. Alright, so here's a good lesson. What do we play here? I'm asking all of you, what do you play here? I'll give you a second. The answer is you play Lords. Playing Lords every single turn is going to be your fastest route to victory. A lot of people would be tempted to play the Silvergill Adept here because that's just normally what you do, so you can keep drawing into gas. We've got the gas. We have 4 Lords in our hand. 3 of them are Island Walk Lords. Like, what else do you want to draw into? And this will, if we play Lord into Lord into Lord into Lord, that will not only maximize the amount of damage that we'll do, but also maximize the number of Island Walk creatures that are on the battlefield. So even in the face of a removal spell, we can attack into our opponent. So for example, if I play Merfolk Mistbinder here, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to do, our opponent plays a land and pass. I can play Island Walk Lord and attack into, say, a snow permanent, or sorry, like Icefang Quaddle. So they play Uro, that's fine, no big deal, I don't care. Fatal Push, I do care. I draw another Merfolk Mistbinder. I'm gonna play Merfolk Mistbinder. Again, this is the absolute fastest clock. Just playing out your Lords. Silvergill Adapt will be a slower clock. Tarmogoyf. So this is a bit awkward. Because of course our opponent could have a removal spell. I don't remember what I do here. Oh, actually, okay, I don't know what I do here, but I think the best thing to do is play Lord of Atlantis and attack with Merfolk Mistbinder. And if our opponent has a removal spell, then so be it. I'm gonna get blown out really hard because I don't have. No, that's not true. I'm not facing Uro next turn. But my life total is worse than theirs. They have a Tarmogoyf. So this is complicated. Because they can't cast Uro next turn, and even if they did, I can bounce it. Well, it's a bit of a debate if you want to attack with this Merfolk Mistbinder or not. It's close. It's close. I don't know how to do. I think I should err on being aggressive here, though, because my opponent only has 1 card left in hand. We got in damage! Yeah! Awesome. So I can race a Tarmogoyf. So they had to have just drawn that Fatal Push. Now, one thing to consider... I'm about to probably play another Lord. Oh, do I play a Lord here? I do have... Yeah, I probably play Lord here. Continue with the Lords. Attack for 3. So our opponent has to have nothing in hand, basically, because they didn't play anything on their turn. They just played a Fatal Push. They can't have anything. They just have air. And again, this is the fastest clock. I mean, if I can get enough Lords on the battlefield. I have to be careful with this Waterlog Grove, though, because this Tarmogoyf is hitting me for 3, and the Waterlog Grove is hitting me for 1 damage. So Waterlog Grove very quickly is going to become a liability. Okay, they stop attacking. Great! Now, if I don't remember how this game played out, but given the board state, I'm pretty sure I would attack with these 2 creatures, and if my opponent blocks, I'll flash in Merfolk Trickster to kill it, instead of risking playing Lord of Atlantis. Because our opponents now like put the they put the brakes on, so it looks like they're trying to create a blow. They're trying to use a removal spell to blow us out. So if I were to guess what I would want to do here, I would attack with the 2 creatures, and if they block Mass of the Pearl Trident, which I'm guessing they're going to do, we can safely play Merfolk Trickster and make Tarmogoyf smaller. And then they would have to use... Oh no, I don't attack. Snapcaster Mage. So there is a way of playing around this. I could have played an Island Walk. I don't like the idea of playing the Island Walk Lord. So they do have Snapcaster Mage in their deck. I'm about to lose everything. No, I don't. No, now they block with their Tarmogoyf for some reason. Oh, well, I mean, it looks free. So anyway, so now we're going to play Merfolk Trickster. It works. Boop. Oh, but they Veil of Summer. That sucks. So that makes some sense. And I don't get to make this line anymore. Yeah, I really don't remember this game. So all their blocks were good because they had the protection. Now, I'm just at a way lower life total. I have no board presence. I have nothing. There's just nothing I can do. I'm going to lose. I think I played Silvergill Adapt, hoping to draw an island so I could play Lord of Atlantis. And I don't know. I can block with here and chump block Silvergill Adapt, take 1 more damage, go to 1, and then try to answer Ice-Fang Quaddle some other way in the future. But as is, I did not draw the land, so I'm dead. And they play Archmage's Charm. Now I'm just playing on to just learn a little bit about my opponent's deck. Because I don't know what's in the deck. That's another thing, like, especially if, like, don't resign for nothing. I'm in an open tournament. I'm going to be playing all day anyway. I'm not going to be saving any time resigning early. I want to learn a little bit more about my opponent's deck if my opponent's going to tell me anything. So even more reason to believe that they're Sultai. I mean, I know that they're Sultai, given the Thoughtseize and Fatal Pushes that have been played. Let's draw my land, but I could have passed the turn, I guess, one more time. I don't think they know about Brazen Borrower, though. I'm not sure. But anyway, so game 2 goes to them. The only other way I could play around a removal spell, and maybe I should have been able to sniff it out, is play Lord of Atlantis and then just attack with the Merfolk Mistbinder, and then after Snapcaster Mage killing one of my Island Walk Lords, I still get in for 3 damage, and then we can just continue the game after that. That was a possibility. But I do not fault my line for, whatever. It was a tough spot against a Veil of Summer and a Snapcaster Mage. And certainly they needed to top deck the Snapcaster Mage. So anyway, that was game 2. Let's move on to game 3. So hand looks fine. I would say the hand is good. We don't have a 1-drop, but we have a lot of Island Walk Lords, and I thought that is going to be really key in any sort of blue-based deck, especially deck that's trying to play like crap like Icefang Quaddle. So the Island Walk Lords are very valuable, and I'll, just like the last game, I'll play Merfolk Mistbinder into the Island Walk Lords and just hope that they cruise to victory. And then we have a Force Negation for one particular special spell. Now, ooh, this is a difficult spot. Like, I don't want to walk into like a Mystical Dispute or a Fatal Push. But at the same time, Merfolk Trickster is pretty valuable in this matchup. It can kill Tarmogoyf, and it can tap down Snapcaster Mage and Icefang Quaddle. Probably I still play Merfolk Trickster here, though. Sorry, Merfolk Mistbinder. Just because this is such a good piece of disruption later on in the game. So they fetched Swamp. The Collective Brutality me. They chose 2 modes. So one was target opponent reveals their hand, you choose an instant or sorcery card from it, they discard it, and they kill my creature. So knowing they have Collective Brutality in their deck, if they have another one, then getting these creatures above 2 toughness is going to be even more important. So I definitely play Force Negation here, and I'm gonna lose the Force Negation anyway. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna lose 2 cards no matter what. Do I want to lose the Force Negation and one of the cards in my hand, or a Force Negation and the card that's in play? So no-brainer. I get another Force Negation. Not bad. I'm not unhappy to draw Force Negations. I'm sure there's some important spells that we have to counter. So I'm getting my Island Walk beatdown going. Plague Engineer. So our hand gets even better. We can play another. We have Merfolk. I mean, we got everything. We have everything for this Plague Engineer. Look, it's not even. It's like it doesn't even matter. We still have lethal by next turn and Force of Negation. Thought scatter yourself. Sure, I don't care. I just can't care what you do to my battlefield. Collective Brutality again. Target opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life. I just Force Negate this because I have a kill next turn. So, just Force Negate. And were they going to take a card from my hand? Yeah. Oh, no. They were just... What were they doing? They were just trying to gain some life. Yeah, I'm still going to do that. And save the Merfolk Trickster if I have to for something else. So... that was a pretty comfortable victory, and this just shows that if there's going to be more of these blue snow decks, I think that's going to be really good for Merfolk, and I think it's going to help us, especially in this metagame. In some ways, Arkham's Astrolabe does help us because it encourages these blue snow decks. I'm not super happy about the Urza deck, but I am happy about like the Sultai or Bant versions of, not Bant, Simic versions of Urza. Just playing the Uro card and just trying to outvalue us, but it doesn't matter because we've got Island Walk Lords that just run right past their everything, absolutely everything. So that was round 6. Move on to round 7. I lost the die roll versus Ziu Ryo. Good control player online. I lost the die roll, but I have turn 1 plays. If I actually didn't know at the time what my opponent is on, but I've had things I can do on turn 1. We're up against another snow deck, so I'm relatively happy. I played Botanical Sanctum on turn 1. That is not necessarily a mistake. I guess I can still play Dismember. My opponent has a turn 2 play. Okay, I'm just passing the turn, and I'm going to play Merfolk Trickster at end of turn. I can't remember what my thought process was. Maybe I was playing around removal. Maybe I was playing around counter spells, but they had open mana, so let's do it that way. Definitely attack for 2, but I do have the option to play Brazen Borrower at the end of my opponent's turn again. So I attack for 3, probably put a Breeding Pool into play tapped, then pass. Alright, Hollow Fountain. Our opponent did not reveal exactly what the hell they were on. Oh, I might have looked them up online to find out that they were playing Bant Snow Control, which means if I wanted to be able to... Yeah, so now I understand why I did this. Because I want to be able to give Merfolk Trickster Island Walk versus Icefang Quaddle. Opponent plays Teferi Time Reveler. It's annoying, but we can deal with it. Everyone hates Teferi Time Reveler except for the fact that you can just kill him pretty easily. I do believe we kill him. I think I just put a Breeding Pool into play tapped. Oh, I put the Waterlog Grove into play. I don't need the card. I need to get to 5 mana, so I can play Brazen Borrower at end of turn and still have like 2 mana for Lord of Atlantis if necessary. I do have to be a little careful about Supreme Verdict though, and there it is. So I don't want to put too many. I don't want to empty my hand, is what I want to say. But like, if I put this Breeding Pool into play tap, then I'm not getting shocked for 2 damage right now. Okay, so I empty my hand. And I play the Brazen Borrower right now to get around a Cryptic command. If my opponent... There's usually only like 2 Supreme Verdicts in these decks. They already spent one. It would be a different story if they had 6 mana, then they could go Snapcaster Mage, Supreme Verdict, but in this, given this scenario, like they only have basically 1 Supreme Verdict left in their deck. And they miss their 5th land drop, so now I don't even have to worry about Snapcaster Mage into Supreme Verdict. I do have to worry about counterspells though, so I'm going to be playing around counterspells as much as possible. Attack for 5, so I'm not playing Lord of Atlantis pre-combat. If we see Icefang Quaddle, that's what the Dismembers are for. Path to Exile. Don't mind if I do find a land. Snapcaster Mage. I don't think there's anything... Well, there is something I can do here. I can dismember the Snapcaster Mage and force my opponent to spend their Path to Exile on my Master of the Pearl Trident. I don't even know if that's a big deal. And if I remember correctly, I'm just going to play a Brazen Borrower again, get underneath the counter magic. Oh, I play Lord of Atlantis, alright. Well, I guess I did this because this is not instant speed. This is instant speed. Eat up the Waterlog Grove, draw a Silvergill Adapt. Overall, I like the position that I'm in. I'm relatively happy. I'm in a good spot to play around Supreme Verdicts and stuff like that. Archmage's Charm, target player draws 2 cards. I can't do anything about this. It's not too bad because it eats up a lot of my opponent's mana in turn. Now what do? I'm pretty sure I play Silvergill Adept here. But only Silvergill Adept. Waterlog Grove is good, so now I can play Brazen Borrower at end of turn and crack Waterlog Grove in the face of like land, Snapcaster Mage, Supreme Verdict. Uro! One card I really do not care about at all. Do not care about this card whatsoever. So they gain a bit of life, I don't care. And they get Mystic Sanctuary to put Supreme Verdict back on top of their deck. That's fine. I mean, I'm not in love with it, but, you know, we've got answers in the form of, like, Brazen Borrower at end of turn. I'm probably just going to crack this Waterlog Grove, draw. Lord of Atlantis is good. Trickster is great, so like I'm drawing pretty damn well here. Attack for 5. Notice I'm not overcommitting. I'm in no rush. No rush to do anything. Well, I'll tell you one thing I could have done. I could have played one Lord, put them to 6, and then when I play Brazen Borrower, Merfolk Trickster, the next Lord would put them in range of dying that turn. So that was a possibility that I didn't consider. I'm just playing as patiently as possible and utilizing the fact that I can play at instant speed. Play Brazen Borrower first. Oh, I'm playing around Mana Leak now? What's going on? 2 mana open, it looks like I'm playing around Mana Leak. The patience, people! Man, I was on my game that day. Sylvie Gale Adept, I don't know what I showed. Probably Merfolk Mistbinder or something. Mutavault, great. This game's over. It's just very hard to deal with all these threats. Here comes Uro. Gain life. I do not care. It does not matter to me. Probably I just go for it here. Merfolk Trickster at end of turn, and I'll play 2 Lords on my turn. Because there's like basically nothing in my way. Yeah, so just in case they had Mana Leak the entire time, I always had the 3 mana up. Don't know if that was... I don't know if that's something I saw in their list when I was playing this match or not. Like, I did look up the player. If I remember correctly, I didn't know the list, though. Didn't know it really well. I was just playing around Mana Leak because, you know, it's a reasonable thing to play around. Looks like it's a Bant Snow control deck. But that was round 7, and I was undefeated. I was the only undefeated person after 7 rounds. Look, the Merfolk deck, the Simic Merfolk deck, 7 rounds. I'm the undefeated player. No one is expecting. If someone took a guess, like, hey, there's someone who's undefeated after 7 rounds, only one player. What archetype were they playing? No one would guess Simic Merfolk. They should. Where I'm going to put fear into the people. You gotta be afraid of Simic Merfolk. So that was the 7th round. Let's go on to the 8th.